Exotic, beautiful, and deadly, Samira the Desert Rose is a champion with an extremely unique kit, which makes her one of the most fun champions in the game. She shoots and slashes through enemies and does so with style. Let's take a look at Samira's lore and theme to see what we can pick up to develop her playlist. Remember, the link to the playlist will be in the description below. As a child, Samira was a street performer with her parents. She was very agile and was able to perform incredible feats. But one day, her village was swarmed by armed forces and many people died. Some were able to survive, but were forced to run away, as was the case with her and her parents. They fled to Noxus as refugees, where Samira continued to perform on the streets, with stunts greater than ever before. But that wasn't enough for her, and after going through several tribulations, she became a mercenary, famous not only for accomplishing her goals, but for doing so in extreme and risky ways just for show.
Life's simple. Take the shot or lose the chance.
Now, looking at her lore, there are two things that catch my attention. First, the fact that she was a street performer and is incredibly acrobatic and enjoys being flashy and stylish. That is even reflected in her kit, with her passive, which is entirely built around the style points. In real life, I relate this not only to street performers, but also with circus performers, doing incredible acrobatic feats. In second place, the fact that she and her family were displaced from their village and forced to become refugees in a strange land. To round things up, we just need to look at her design, her features, and we'll find a very beautiful and exotic woman that has kind of a gypsy theme. If we take into consideration those three traits, there's a genre that encompasses all that in a beautiful way. Maybe you thought about it already, and yes, it is flamenco, a genre originated in Andalusia, Spain, and that owes much of its heritage to the Gypsy people. It also relies heavily on street performance, style, and skill. Plus, in pop culture, flamenco is connected to acrobatic feats. Honestly, Samira and flamenco are a perfect match. Originally, I wanted to pair flamenco with Katarina, since she is kind of performative with her daggers, like those knife throwers on the circus. But Samira is a much better fit, since she has other traits that go well with flamenco too. And something beautiful about flamenco is that it has many subgenres, or what in flamenco culture are called palos. So we have different moods and speeds, and that gives dynamic to the playlist. For example, we have Rumba, a fast-paced flamenco subgenre that can be feel good and joyful, but also action-packed, and that is perfect for Samira. We also have New Flamenco, a genre pioneered by a new wave of artists that started to blend flamenco with other genres like rock, jazz, and even hip-hop. I'll be honest, flamenco is a genre that I personally like a lot, but it is pretty wide and it is a culture in and of itself, and many songs and subgenres can be too exotic or too weird for some people, so I'll try to stay away from those for the purposes of this playlist. But if you check out this playlist and like what you hear, I encourage you to delve deeper into the flamenco world. You won't be disappointed. If you're worried about the language barrier because flamenco is from Spain and it is mainly sung in Spanish, let me tell you that you don't have anything to worry about. First of all, it is a genre based more on feeling than on lyrics. You don't care so much about what the singer is saying, but how they say it. And in second place, a lot of it is just instrumental.
The Empire values strength, I value style. We're good partners.
To kick things off, we have something that I bet you weren't expecting on a flamenco playlist, which are songs from the Bleach OST. Yes, Bleach the anime. If you have watched the anime, you understand immediately what is going on, but if not, let me fill you in. The second big arc of the anime is called Hueco Mundo. Yes, in Spanish. The villains on this arc pull heavily from the Spanish culture, and their techniques are named in Spanish. The cool thing is, whenever they fight, the music you hear in the background is flamenco. And with that, we find out that flamenco is a badass genre for battle music, which is great for us since the Summer's Rift is a battlefield. My favorite pick from the Bleach OST has to be Fiesta de Guerra, which is Spanish for war party. Next, we have Rosalía, a figure that you might have heard before. She has gotten very popular lately and has features with big names in the industry like Travis Scott. Her popularity rose after she started blending her flamenco style with hip-hop subgenres, but in her beginnings, she was a true flamenco artist. Her vocal capacity is amazing and her voice is just beautiful. Her songs are cool and catchy and filled with emotion. She's featured 5 times on the playlist, and honestly, there are many more songs from her that could be added easily. From the ones I added, my favorite without a doubt is Aunque es de noche, a beautiful song with rhythm changes and that makes use of her vocal capacity and leaves you astonished. And then we reach the legend, the big name, the man that turned flamenco into a global phenomenon, Paco de Lucia. His guitar playing is studied in every corner of the world, and he's considered one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Not only from flamenco, but guitarist, period. You could virtually hear any song from him and it would be fitting for the purposes of this playlist. To add more dynamic and joyful energy, we get to the masters of Rumba, the Gypsy Kings. They're known worldwide because they have several songs that became a global hit and are even featured in Hollywood movies. Their characteristic sound was a must on this list, and I can't stop imagining Samira dancing to them at a party in some tavern after a job well done. I told you that we were gonna add some fusion and new flamenco, and that brings us to a band with a really weird and long name, Derby Motoreta's Burrito Kachimba. This band blends flamenco with rock and other subgenres, but maintains the flamenco spirit. Their code gitana, which is Spanish for gypsy, is to me the sound which every flamenco and rock fusion aspires to be. I couldn't make a flamenco playlist and leave out Camarón de la Isla, or Shrink from the Island, my favorite flamenco singer, and maybe the most acclaimed one, but since his songs aren't for everybody since they have a very particular style, I only included one song to give you a taste of his voice. It has so much feeling and emotion. I fill in the gaps with songs from Miguel Poveda Real, Juanito Makandé, and Califato 3/4. One is a great singer from the new generation, and the others are new flamenco artists that blend flamenco with genres like jazz. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the playlist and how you would expand it. Remember to press like if you liked and subscribe, and click the bell for more playlists. Next one could be for your main, and rest assured we'll get to everyone's main, so keep an eye out. Thanks a lot for watching, and remember, as the great Bill Hicks said, this is just a ride.